So breaking news this hour, President Cyril Ramaphosa has, by mutual agreement, terminated the employment contract with National Police Commissioner General Khehla Sitole. The Presidency released a statement a short while ago saying Sitole will leave on the 31st of March. It goes on to say that both parties have agreed that the early termination is in the country's best interests. SABC News senior reporter Chriselda has been at the South African Human Rights Commission hearings into the July unrest, and she joins us now. Chriselda, a very, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Does this come as a surprise? And there's been reports that General Khehla Sitole has been in conversation and had endless meetings with President Cyril Ramaphosa about an amicable exit at that office. Can you confirm this? And in the same breath, Chriselda, you can also take us through, the unsavory remarks that Police Minister Khehla had made about General Khehla Sitole.
Well, that's right, Simpiwe. You'd recall that just on Monday, the Police Minister, Khehla, was testifying here at the Human Rights Commission hearings into the July unrest. And it is there where he basically said in an affidavit that was provided that during the July unrest, that the National Police Commissioner was basically nowhere to be seen. Quite extensively, he was asked, the police minister in these hearings, about his relationship with the National Police Commissioner General Khehla Sitole, where basically I know that one of the evidence leaders, Buang Jones, had asked the police minister whether he believed that his relationship with the soon-to-be ex-National Police Commissioner, whether they could save that relationship. And you could certainly tell by the way in which the police minister had responded, in basically saying that he and General Sitole are basically not friends. He was quite adamant and clear in that affidavit that he was unhappy about how police had responded to the July unrest. The reason why we're making this reference, Simpiwe, is because it was just a few days ago, on Monday, in fact, when these hearings had gotten underway, where the police minister had basically said that he's just working with the National Police Commissioner. They are not friends. He categorically stated it here. And we know that there's been no love lost between the two individuals. We have been reporting, there have been a series of reports about the relationship between the National Police Commissioner and the police minister. And certainly at these hearings, not surprised, as you say, there, Simpiwe, given the fact that the president is indicating this was some kind of mutual agreement between himself and the National Police Commissioner, on the backdrop of the remarks that were even made by his boss, who is the police minister, that he was nowhere to be seen during the July unrest. At some point, he had told the National Police Commissioner to join him in KwaZulu-Natal at the height of these protests. We know that police had been heavily criticized. A number of witnesses that took the stand in these hearings today and yesterday as well, indicating that police had been completely overwhelmed and simply could not contain the situation. Remember as well, it was President Cyril Ramaphosa who had commissioned that expert panel to investigate what led to the July unrest. And the damning report that was issued, or this panel had come out with, was that the security cluster was simply ill-prepared to deal with the unrest in July. So now, this certainly looks to be one of the casualties in this. While we respect that the presidency has indicated this was some kind of a mutual agreement that was reached between President Cyril Ramaphosa as well as the National Police Commissioner, but it certainly cannot take away from the sentiments that have been shared since July relating to whether police were prepared for the July unrest, irrespective, and remember, quite damning as well this week, almost, if I could say, the former State Security Minister, Ayanda Dlodlo, in words that some would say probably threw him under the bus. Because in this instance, remember General Khehla had basically said that there was no intelligence that was provided to police on what was going to take place. In complete contrast here, the former State Security Minister, Ayanda Dlodlo, basically said that intelligence had been provided as far back as December 2021. So a clear indication on her part that there was intelligence that was given to the South African Police Service, but nothing was done. So we saw the police really come under extensive fire regarding that. And now we're seeing the National Police Commissioner go after also those sentiments were shared by the police minister that basically he was not friends with the National Police Commissioner. I'm not saying that they should be, but part of what was crucial about what he said was that the National Police Commissioner had basically been had been a no-show in what was also described today by Ibrahim Patel, the Trade and Industry Minister, as one of the most unfortunate incidents that have taken place post-democracy in South Africa. So not very surprised by what's taking place this afternoon and the announcement.
Well, there's a multiplicity of speculation that has been doing the rounds. One of each, Police Minister Bheki Cele, in as much as he said that they're definitely not friends, and we don't expect them to be friends with General Khehla Sitole. But then, would you say that you know, as the termination of Sitole's contract has been as a result of direct influence from Minister Bheki Cele, yes, and there's also the issue of that intention intention to suspend, which was from the presidency last year. Remember that he's been charged, or rather he's been accused of, frustrating a string of IPID investigations into corrupt procurement deals within the Crime Intelligence Department.
Simpiwe, at this particular stage, the reason why, I guess we cannot certainly say what would have been the final result in terms of what we're hearing from the presidency through this statement about the president announcing a mutual agreement for Khehla Sitole to go. But in this instance, given the remarks that have been made over the past 5 days, a number of witnesses, including General Khehla Sitole's boss, the police minister, here basically telling this commission that his national police commissioner was nowhere to be found in one of the most violent scenes seen in South Africa post-democracy. That, in addition to the investigations that you speak of, there have been quite a number of things that have been bubbling under for quite some time now. And it was quite clear that how do you have, in the same vein, Simpiwe, while absolutely I agree with you, we're not expecting the police minister and the national police commissioner to be friends. Absolutely not. But what there needs to be is an amicable working relationship, because this is one of the most important aspects of the security of this country. We're talking about the South African Police Service. So when you have a situation where it certainly seems as if the police minister and the national police commissioner are not getting along, that the police minister believes that the national police commissioner is not doing his job. He was not there at one of the most crucial times in violence that had gripped KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng post-democracy. It certainly raises questions, not about their friendship. I don't think anyone is interested in whether they were friends, but it begs to ask the question, how then were they going to work together? Issues of security have been raised in South Africa, and clearly there have been loopholes. There have been a serious exposure of where those loopholes were in the justice and security cluster, which would include the South African Police Service, following those July riots, because you would recall more than 400 people had died. There is no justification for that at this particular point at the moment. And crucially, that expert panel that was tasked with looking into the violence, commissioned by President Cyril Ramaphosa, that was quite damning. Was the security cluster prepared for what had taken place? It was a resounding no. So certainly this seems to be some kind of action on a culmination of events, but certainly an indication that perhaps, I cannot say for certain, perhaps the testimony over the past couple of days, including by the police minister, perhaps might have had something to do with it, because the conduct of police and the police commissioner being at the helm of the South African Police Service in terms of operations certainly begs to ask whether police had done the proper job. And so far, none of the witnesses have said yes. So perhaps that might have been a contributing factor. We do not know. The statement by the presidency talks about a mutual agreement for the National Police Commissioner to go. There's no reasons that are given, but we certainly cannot ignore what has been taking place over the last couple of days, where you had his own boss, the police minister, indicate that his police commissioner was a no-show in the July unrest that had cost so many lives.
All right, Chriselda, thank you so much for that update. We do appreciate your time. Our senior reporter, the Chriselda Lewis, speaking to us live from Johannesburg.